When automotive historians in the future gather to debate the second decade of the 21st century, they must surely agree that this has been the age of the crossover. Nowadays, these high-rise hatchbacks are everywhere, with fashion-conscious buyers seduced by their 4x4-like style and choosing them as just the thing to be seen in around town or outside their favourite local eatery. And with its chunky sense of style and decidedly 21st century connectivity, the Vauxhall Mokka X could be just the thing to tempt you out of a Nissan Juke, Renault Captur or Peugeot 2008. It may not look especially modern inside, but the Mokka X does contain some properly cutting-edge technology. These buttons in the roof, for instance, give you access to Vauxhall's OnStar service. This gives you a Wi-Fi hotspot inside the car, as well as 24/7 access to an advisor who can answer all sorts of queries, from locating the nearest fuel station to diagnosing problems with the car and even helping in an emergency. It's another nice modern touch that all Mokka X's also have a colour touchscreen at the top of the dashboard to control the infotainment system. However, there are a few disappointing details. The heater controls, for example, feel flimsy, and there are too many cheap-feeling plastics on show for our liking. But on the positive side, the high driving position gives an excellent view to the front, and there's plenty of room, even for a 6-footer like me. In the back too, you'll easily fit in a couple of adults as long as the front seats aren't pushed all the way back. However, because this centre seat is so narrow, it won't be any more than a couple. Likewise, the boot is good, but not brilliant. We like the usefully practical shape, but several rivals have bigger capacities. And while it's nice that you can split and fold the rear seats to expand that space, it's annoying that you can't do so when the front seats are pushed right back. Now the Mokka X may look like a rough and tumble 4x4, but it's not really that sort of a car. In fact, its natural hunting ground is the urban jungle. More high road than off-road, if you see what we mean. Trouble is, around town, the Mokka X really isn't that pleasant to drive, and the ride is the biggest problem. It's just too firm too much of the time, and the car really thumps and bumps its way around. At least the steering is nice and light, and that makes the car easy to manoeuvre, but these thick windscreen pillars do restrict your view, as does the small rear screen and the very thick pillars either side of that. Sadly, things get no better when you fancy a bit of adventure or excitement and head out of town. That firm ride is still a big issue. This light steering just feels vague, and there's too much wind and road noise on the motorway. We covered the full engine range in our written review, and you can see that by clicking on the icon in the top right hand corner of your screen. But the engine in this model is the cheaper and less powerful of the two 1.6 litre diesels. It's reasonably economical and gives a decent turn of speed, but it's noisy, and that's something you notice particularly around town and would persuade us to go for a petrol engine instead. Truth is, none of the Mokka X's rivals is that great to drive. But even so, this thing is still a disappointment.